Are you paying close attention to the USD base pairs and the CHF base pairs like EURUSD, GBPUSD, AUDCHF, and USDCHF? You should, because I am, and we are already having our setups. I'll be diving into the charts shortly, but before we do that, if you are new to this channel, subscribe because you don't want to miss these juicy live updates as they drop. This is Kojak's Pro Trading. Let's get into the chart. Guys, welcome to this chart. So this is our EURUSD chart. And you can see right about here that our setup has been triggered. If you can remember correctly, the last session we had, I did mention about this zone being the 50-fib area, and we had a counter trend line drawn right here. I wanted the price to remain above this support area, which you can see it did that nicely. There was structure broken here. The structure was broken right about here. I'm just going to show you that. So there was a break of structure right here with this bullish candle. So this was a break. However, no trades yet until we actually broke this counter trend line. Now you can see how massive the break has been, and EURUSD is going back to the upside. So currently our trade predictions are already coming through, and we have EURUSD target, this area right about here. So this is the 1.17442. That's the next target for EURUSD. Now that's a trade that is about coming through. Let's go over to the next pair we have, which is GBPUSD. Now GBPUSD is the one that I've actually taken a trade in because it gave me a better risk to reward ratio on this. So GBPUSD broke nicely above our counter trend line, like you can see here. So there was a clean break above this counter trend line. Not only was there a clean break, there was also a break of structure right about here. So that's where we jumped in. Our next target for GBPUSD is going to be this area right here, and we have a good risk reward on this. So we're going to hit here because here is like a weekly level, and I've said that in my previous video why that region is very important. That region is important because it's a strong level on the weekly time frame. Like you can see, it's the neckline of a head and shoulder pattern that formed previously that saw GBPUSD to the downside. So this was the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, and then the neckline. So this neckline now drawn into the future is exactly the same support resistance area we're seeing here. So that's it on GBPUSD, and we're currently in a trade on that. I told you guys that whenever there are live updates on trades, I'm going to come here and show you, because I want to be as transparent as possible to show you how I actually go about my trades. Now we are currently on trade on GBPUSD, you can see, and I took a trade on this on my trading view account, and you can see that we are up by over 200. Okay, let me just use percentage because you can see the figures over there. We're up by 0.005%. When you eventually hit take profit, we must have made about 4.3 million on this for this account. So we're up by over $227,000. So let's go over to the next pair on our list. The next pair on our list that is giving off a setup is AUDCHF. Now AUDCHF, it's actually, you can see our trend line, our current trend line has still been drawn like the previous ones, and AUDCHF is trending to the downside. I only want to take bearish trades. I don't want to take short trades on AUDCHF. And also USDCHF, which we'll be getting to later. It's not happened for AUDCHF. AUDCHF is now giving me some kind of reservations. The reservation I'm having about AUDCHF is that we are not going to get the best risk to reward if this trade eventually kicks off. Why? Because of the way I trade. I usually like to enter trades where I'll have a substantial risk to reward, at least 1.5 and above to 2 or 3. 1:2, 1:3, that kind of thing. But this trade is not likely to give me that, although I'll be watching it closely to see it. And you can see clearly that we are trending to the downside. You can see that we are trending to the downside. And then this area, which is the daily zone, price has chose not to break. It actually came below this zone, came above it here, and was capped by this resistance right about here. And it's come back to trade below this yellow zone. Not only has it come back to trade below this yellow zone, it's approaching our counter trend line. I did set an alert on this. It kicked it up, but although we can see that there is sort of market rejection happening around there. That's to show that counter trend line, which is, just take this off now. So that's to show that there are a lot of this counter trend line needs to actually be taken off for me to take any trade on or consider taking a trade on AUDCHF. So AUDCHF is trying to give us that setup. I'll be watching it closely. However, I'm not trading it for now. Let's go over to the one that I'm looking at closely, the juiciest of all of them, which is USDCHF. Now, USDCHF, you can see how I've set up nicely for this trade. This is the 4-hour candle, and I'm expecting this 4-hour candle to close before I get into this trade. My overall risk to reward on this trade is massive, guys. It's massive. If I just go back to the 4-hour time frame, so this is the 4-hour time frame, and I'll be expected to target all the way here to this next monthly zone, because I trade from zone to zone. Now, if we do set up for this trade, I'll target this zone all the way down here, and we're having a massive almost 1:4. This is 1:3.7 on this trade. However, my first take profit will be here, which is where I've put it. This is going to be my first take profit, and I'll be okay with that. So I'll be entering this USDCHF trade at the close of the 4-hour candle. Now you can see that we currently have about 1.5 hour-ish to close, and if this candle remains below this counter trend line, I'm getting into this trade. As simple as that. Now that's the update I wanted to give you on the pairs I've looked at and the pairs I'll be willing to trade. We are already currently on the GU trade, and EURUSD. The break was too massive. However, the prediction is there, and currently AUDCHF is trying to give us an opportunity. But this one, USDCHF, this is going to be the trade. This is going to be the trade that will make bread. Let me just put it that way so you get what I mean. And that's it. I do this breakdown weekly and live updates as price unfolds. Comment live breakdown below and I'll send it your way. Or you can join my Telegram community. That's where I put the live updates. It's free. Hit like if this breakdown helped you see the market clearer. Subscribe for more live updates like this. And remember, the best trades come from discipline, not prediction. See you in my next update.